Be honest, how many of you have a secret chocolate stash? Or maybe not so secret, proudly displayed on your desk like a trophy of survival? Whether it's that one emergency square after a rough day or a full bar after, well, life, chocolate holds a sacred place in our routines. But here's the big question. Why does this sweet, melty little square make us feel so ridiculously happy? Is it just the taste? Or is there something deeper, maybe even magical, happening inside our brains? Today we're unwrapping the delicious science of chocolate happiness. Our romance with chocolate isn't new. Thousands of years ago, the Mayans and Aztecs treated cocoa as sacred. They didn't eat Snickers bars, of course. They drank cocoa in a bitter, frothy, spicy drink mixed with chili and vanilla. It wasn't candy. It was ritual, medicine, even currency. They believed cocoa beans were literally a gift from the gods. In fact, the word cacao itself was associated with divinity. Fast forward a few thousand years, add sugar, milk, and some industrial genius, and suddenly chocolate isn't just divine, it's addictive. But history only tells us how humans fell in love with it. The real secret to chocolate's mood-boosting powers is hiding inside your brain chemistry. When you bite into chocolate, your brain doesn't just say, tasty. No, your brain throws a full-on chemical party. First to arrive, endorphins. These are your natural painkillers. The same feel-good chemicals released during exercise, laughter, or, yes, falling in love. That first bite, it's basically a runner's high without the sweating. Then comes dopamine. This is your brain's reward signal. It lights up your neural pathways like fireworks, saying, yes, good decision. More of that, please. That's why you reach for another square, and another, and before you know it, the entire family-sized bar is mysteriously gone. But dopamine and endorphins aren't alone. Chocolate also boosts serotonin, the neurotransmitter that keeps your mood balanced and anxiety at bay. If dopamine is the wild party friend and endorphins are the carefree dancer, serotonin is the calm, steady one, making sure you don't spiral into stress. Together, these three chemicals form a trifecta of happiness that kicks in every time chocolate melts on your tongue. That explains the smile. But chocolate is sneakier than that. It contains actual compounds that mimic the effects of drugs. Yes, really. One of them is called phenylethylamine, often nicknamed the love drug. This is the same chemical your brain produces when you're falling head over heels for someone. It triggers feelings of excitement, attraction, even butterflies in the stomach. No wonder Valentine's Day and chocolate are inseparable. It's not just tradition, it's brain chemistry. On top of that, chocolate contains small amounts of anandamide, literally nicknamed the bliss molecule. It binds to the same receptors in your brain as cannabinoids, the chemicals in cannabis, though at a much, much gentler level. So technically, chocolate is a mild, natural mood enhancer. Don't worry, you won't get high from a Kit Kat, but your brain definitely gets a little buzz. Then there's the sensory side. Taste, smell, texture all play a role in why chocolate feels so heavenly. When chocolate melts in your mouth, it releases hundreds of aroma compounds that hit your nose and flavor receptors at once. Your brain interprets this complex symphony as pleasure. And then there's the smooth, velvety texture, the way it snaps, then melts luxuriously. Food scientists call this mouthfeel, but let's be real, it's like eating silk. Combine that with sugar, which your brain is hardwired to crave as quick energy, and fat, which signals survival fuel, and chocolate becomes the ultimate sensory and chemical jackpot. But here's where it gets even funnier. The happy effects of chocolate aren't purely biological, they're also psychological. We associate chocolate with reward, with self-care, with indulgence. You don't just eat chocolate, you treat yourself. That mental association amplifies the joy. It's why advertisers sell it with taglines like, "Because you're worth it." Honestly, it works. We've basically been brainwashed to believe chocolate equals happiness, and our brains are perfectly fine with that arrangement. Of course, there's a catch. Too much chocolate, especially the sugary kind, can backfire. The sugar high eventually crashes, and suddenly you're slumped on the couch, regretting your life choices while staring at an empty wrapper graveyard. But if you pick dark chocolate, the kind with more cocoa and less sugar, the benefits shine through. Dark chocolate is packed with flavonoids, antioxidants that improve blood flow, boost brain function, and may even protect your heart. So yes, eating chocolate can actually be good for you, as long as you don't inhale the whole box. Moderation is key, sadly. And let's not forget the social and cultural side of chocolate. It's the universal peace offering. Bad day? Chocolate. Apology? Chocolate. Romantic confession? Definitely chocolate. It's basically edible therapy wrapped in foil. When you share chocolate with someone, you're not just sharing a snack. You're sharing happiness in its most convenient, bite-sized form. So the next time you find yourself nibbling on a square of chocolate and that little wave of happiness rolls over you, remember, it's not just in your head. Well, actually, it is in your head, but in the form of neurotransmitters, hormones, and a cascade of sensory delight that evolution and culture have wrapped into one irresistible package. Chocolate makes us happy because it hijacks the brain's pleasure circuits, tickles our senses, and carries centuries of sweet symbolism. It's science, history, psychology, and maybe just a tiny bit of magic all rolled into one. So yes, chocolate really is happiness you can eat. And if anyone dares question your late-night chocolate binge, just tell them, relax, I'm doing neuroscience. If you enjoyed diving into the sweet science behind chocolate's happiness power, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deliciously fascinating explorations. And hey, maybe keep a little square of chocolate nearby for the next video, for science.